Hey everybody, it's Rachel and my friend. Want to introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Debbie. Oh,
Awesome. And today we want to talk to you about having you have a territory and an assignment. It's time to own it. And this is the birthing of your calling. And to walk in that, you have to get your equipment. God has equipped you. God has everything that you need on your path, but it requires alignment. It requires surrender. And that's what we want to talk about today. That the journey of entrepreneurship is coming into alignment with who you truly are. It's stewarding your gifts. It's making room in your heart for the development and growth, for the level of responsibility that we all have been given in the kingdom of God. And it's a call up to a higher place than how we got used to living. Our self perception is where we end up lacking in what God is calling us into. And that's what we're here to be a catalyst, to be an activator of your true purpose, of your true responsibility in the earth, and the fulfillment that's in that whenever you're walking in flow with the spirit. And that's the reality of your calling. It doesn't ask of anything more than your true self to flow with the spirit. So, with that, Dev, share what you've got that's coming up for you.
we just came on Firestarters meeting, and the thing that God defined for me of all is equipping you, guys, empowering you with Enagic product business model. Everything that is exposed into reality you're living in to show you that you want to live. And
Dev, I think
is taking over.
your audio is going in and out pretty consistently. Is there
Can you hear me?
yes.
Is
You're gone again. Yeah. But
still going in and out?
yeah, kind of. I'll talk for a little while. I don't know if your location has anything to do with like it improving. I don't know, but um yeah,
Okay, go.
just go. Okay. All right. So we were meeting in our team Zoom earlier. This was burst out of us just getting more clarity on what we're called to do in this space, what Firestarters is about, what the vehicle of Enagic, what is it actual solution, what's the journey that we're taking people on, and the realization that every goal that people have, every be it like a health goal related directly to the products, that's what we're here to help people transition uh, into is a higher state of living, be it taking better care of their body, um, giving it what it needs. That's one aspect of the solution that we are is in your health, you being able to change the system of your home, the thing that your nation or your city, your region is pumping into your home, or also even the bottled water solutions that we think it still has microplastics and just so much that's not actually good for us from the quality of the water is very contaminated kind of across the board. And so that's one level of solution, right? beginning to improve your health. And then we're looking at other levels, like on the business side of things. The solution of business is literally bringing people into the awareness of their influence, of their financial territory, taking ownership of that territory, that you're stewarding the resources within your kingdom and expanding your kingdom. And whenever you take ownership of your finances and your ability to bring the solution to other people, you are being a king of your territory and being a compassionate king. Because in business, if there's no compassion, there's no effect that happens. It's just, you're just sitting there. You could be a greedy king or one that is generous. And that's the journey of business that shifts us into realizing that the reason we're here is for the people that need what we have. And that's what brings us into either I am stewarding that, either I take ownership of this calling, of this purpose in business to serve, or it's just about me. And I notice most of the insecurities that come up on the journey of entrepreneurship, it reveals the heart. And that's one of the most valuable things that we get to see. The more we show up, the more we fellowship with one another, we get to see the things that need to break off so that we can serve better, so that we can reach out and speak into people's lives that transformation. So, be it a transformation of your finances, a transformation of your leadership development, transformation of your voice, the transformation of your health, all of these components of this journey, these are the different avenues in as to why people partner here for different types of growth, different types of transitions in their life. And we were talking about calling. I'll bring up this document real quick because I was reading the Firestarters like mission framework that I created, just seeing like the clarity, like what do we do? And at the core of it, I have this line that I wrote. Let me go up here. So yeah, Firestarters is a movement dedicated to helping people stop circling their calling and start building the life they were born to lead. And we were just like unpacking that, how that reality is connected to all those different things, whether it be the product, whether it be business, that we're helping people step into what they actually see. When we think of ourselves as divine beings, like God has given us vision for a reason. We either have numbed it out, we don't believe in it anymore, we don't think it's for us, or we think like it's super far away, you know? Just limiting beliefs, I believe, has a lot to do with why we don't walk in what God has called us to do. So a lot of people live in unfulfillment because the dream, the vision has not come to pass. There's that disappointment that's there. And then you manage disappointment by just like moving the goalpost so that you don't have to realize that that is what you actually wanted. And you're like 10 years deep in not living in your purpose and you've just settled for something. And that's the heart of Firestarters. That's the heart of Firestarters even being something that is a word that's a revelation of the vehicle of network marketing. So we were just like breaking this down and like sitting with these words and like letting it get down in us of like what we are here to do. And that's the reality of the path of entrepreneurship, the path of being in Firestarters as a container of growth is to help you stop circling your calling, but to look at it, to take ownership of it and say, this is something I can walk in now by starting where I am with what I can see. And how can I steward this? How can it grow? And I get on the path of building what God has actually called me to do. And that aspect of Firestarters is to speak to the fact that you are meant to do much more than you're currently doing. And that's something that we believe in wholeheartedly, is that there's so much more in you, and you'll find that on the path of action, the path of beginning to give voice to what God has put on the inside of you. And not only is a product a solution, but you are a solution yourself. And that's the beauty of business, is that people do business with people. They do with people they know, like, and trust, people that they align with. And if you don't get into business and God has called you to be in this space, there's people waiting on you for them to get in alignment. So this is the path. Like, yeah. And you go, Dev. I want to see if your audio's together now. You go. I want to hear from you. It's not. Yeah. Do you have maybe like a headphone or something that could like maybe give you another speaker of sorts?
Yeah. Yeah. Let me go
Okay,
check
I can hear
actually.
you now. It sounded like you had something covering your speaker. Like maybe your speaker was muffled, because I
How
hear you
about
now.
that? Is that
You sound great.
better? You
Much
hear me
better.
now?
Like 1,000 times better.
Oh, that's great. But yeah, what I was just gonna add in, like, it's the equipping that's part of your calling, is who a fire starter is
Mhm,
actually at the essence of it. You're being equipped with the products and the consciousness of responsibility in your business to go and share forth what you have received as a solution to your problem, and share it with the very people who are looking for that solution. And the solution here is taking up territory in the spaces that you're called to be, so
mhm,
that the compassion that you receive through the products, through the gifting of it, is being passed on to the next person's heart to burn and ignite,
mhm,
and see the value of where it's going to take them. And Rachel and I were discussing about this new era of network marketing within Firestarters, and the significance of what she saw that to be.
mhm,
Um, y- it truly, when as she was speaking about it, I had a positioning in my own self when we discussed, what do fire starters do?
mhm,
We bring the fire of the pure flame to break the things that don't serve people, so they
mhm,
can live the lives that they were always meant to live and build. And
mhm, mhm,
what what we have is a flame that's meant to move into other people's lives, and whether it be a soul alignment, or moving from their bodies being aligned in the health, moving into the soul, and then moving into the spirit. That really was the clarity that I had to wear that badge of authority. Like, this business journey for me has been about, where am I called to go, and what has God given me right now to exercise my authority, become confident in coming on here and sharing what I've been given. This is the assignment. The purpose of being a fire starter is my calling. And that got so defined today.
mhm.
And Rachel, would you want to share more about what you saw in the birthing of fire starters, and the today's uncovering of the deeper embodiment of of who we are
Yeah.
as solutions.
So in the evolution of language, that's been like in marketing. Marketing is all about language, words, painting pictures, right? And looking for accurate language for the purpose of a business. So if you use the wrong language, it's out of alignment from what it's assigned to do and the effect it's meant to have. So that's something that I was seeking from Holy Spirit. Like, Mother, show me what is the language? What is actually the purpose of my business? What is the purpose of this community? And I would lock onto maybe an aspect that's still true. And then as like deeper embodiment would happen, where I step more into, be it boldness or just getting out of fear. From there, I saw something shift that I'm like, no, this is what we're supposed to be hosting. It's this. What is its effect? And I was seeing it literally has to do with people's callings. And it seems like, how is that connected to network marketing? How is that connected to water? What is this whole thing about, like the calling? And it was beautiful seeing that you asked me, you're like, no, wait, slow down. Let's talk about this. What do you like? Unpack what you just said. And that's the reality that Firestarters is here to help you move into your calling, to stop circling it, to stop hesitating in getting in it. That we have a divine assignment, no matter what, whether you're conscious of it or not. Yeshua came. I keep going back to the gospel because it's literally the reality that he died for you to be able to walk in this new realization of who you've always been. You just forgot who you were. So you're living way below it. So the vehicle of network marketing by way of Firestarters. Firestarters is this place that we are stewarding, of a home base for people to grow in. And the reality is that entrepreneurship, the growth of this, of coming into a space where you're saying, I'm going to be visible, I'm going to take responsibility for this effect in the world. And that's what we were defining today. What is our effect? What do we do?
Mm.
What are we solving?
Mm-hmm.
There's multi layers, right? So the product is
And
solving a body level problem. But yeah, you go, Devin.
yeah, when I forgot my thought for a second,
Okay.
but what Rachel is saying, it's okay. Yeah. Um, it'll come back. But yeah, I'll when it comes back, I'll speak on it.
Okay.
But you go.
I'll keep going on the levels.
Mm.
Yeah, the levels of like solutions. So as a business, if you don't have a foundational product that's solving a problem, that there's a market for it, you have more of a ministry than a business. So there's no business without the exchange of money and product. So on that level, that was an alignment that mattered, like health, body, soul, and spirit. So realizing that on a body level, the effect of being in business, it is significantly increasing the, what do I call that? The standard, I'll call it the standard of health. We're raising the standard in the body. So this is normal. We should be having lots of antioxidants in our body. We should be having a negative electrical charge that is just life-giving in our body, that things are moving, nothing's dead, nothing's stagnant. So energy has to move. That's a revelation in the soul, in the body. If there's any places where things is not moving, there's death, there's decay, there's disease. So seeing that on that level,
Mm.
that's a solution. And then the next levels, body, soul, and spirit in business, when we talk about the divine being that we are, our essence, our born again self, the one that is perfect, the one that doesn't need refinement. It's who we really are. That's where we get our visions and everything. Like God is speaking to who we really are for us to get into agreement with it, that our body doesn't fight it, that our soul doesn't resist it out of its own patterns, but that the spirit can have its way in our life. So the next layer of solution is the journey of entrepreneurship and being in the space of fire starters is that it becomes a flame that refines the soul. And the soul can only be refined when the will is surrendered to it. So fire hurts. That's how that's the image we think is like, even how people have the image of hell, right? Eternal damnation, which is extremely what's the word? Hijacked by religion and crafted to be a fear reality around fire. But fire doesn't contradict the love of God. Fire is an aspect of the spirit to refine, to break off all that you're not, so that all that you are just becomes like potent, like unstoppable fire, right? So that's the heart
Yes.
of, and that's the reality, I'll say, that's emerging in fire starters is the flame of God. And so on a body solution, how you enter into fire starters is through the purchase of a product that's going to raise your standard of of what your body environment is. Yeah. So the standard has
You're
been raised.
deciding what you
You go.
oh, you're finally deciding that your awareness of what's in the environment begins to translate into taking control of that area. So that's the first level of authority that,
Yes.
yeah, you've chosen to take part in.
Mhm. Taking your territory back in the body when you start with your product.
Mhm.
And then the journey of you've got your business license now. And now what next area, what territory do you need to take? And that's taking back your soul, that it comes in alignment with the spirit, because your spirit has a divine purpose, it has a divine assignment, it takes responsibility, it is the abundance. So the spirit, there's no lack. So the spirit sees poverty and goes, we need to fix that. It takes responsibility and says,
Mhm.
okay, we need some creativity. We need multiple people. We're going to need 8 people. We're going to need this much money. We're going to set aside 1 week to get it done. We're going to buy this plot of land. We're going to, the spirit just, it sees all that needs to be done. And it goes, I am the son of God. I am the divine son. I'm the ambassador to bring about heaven's resources being established in the earth. So it sees lack and immediately applies the abundance that it is onto it. So what's the disconnect between execution and the vision? It's the soul.
Sharing the value of what people is going to set people free and hesitating to actually share it is the work of the middle ground of that soul.
Yes.
That's the
Beautiful.
next level of authority.
That's the next level of authority. Yeah. Yeah. And so taking authority in the soul is when we go, I will do it. When the will can get online with the spirit and you're consistent and you say, we're going to do this. And that's what business is. So for instance, let's take a step back. You're a product, you're a consumer. You're like, I'm taking care of my temple. The next level is I'm going to establish in the region this solution. That's business. And then taking on the work that it's actually done. That is that commitment of the action. And that's the path that Firestarters is all about. Let's do the work together. Let's learn from our work today so we can work better tomorrow. How are we doing at this? Has the goal been accomplished? I love something that Charmaine said on the call yesterday. She was like, if you don't meet your goal, why didn't you meet it? What was the goal? You have to even set one to know that you didn't meet it. Why didn't you meet it? And what are you changing to make sure that you do meet it? That is
Mhm.
taking territory and sitting in your seat of authority and knowing it's my responsibility. So when I look at what's going on in a soul that resists business, that's called to business. Like, I'm watching it in myself, right? Like I'm sitting here on live and like I wasn't going live before. So like what changed, right? What changed in my authority and my ownership and my stewardship of the assignment that I've been given. And something that was deepening in me, in us earlier, is like how much we felt the spirit on our private Zoom call and realizing like that the equipping for the mission is in surrender. Like the more we stop striving in it and just say yes to the assignment, that's where the grace was. And I was like, okay, I don't have to strive about what I'm going to say. I need to tell the truth. I need to own it. I need to be about it. So that's
Yes.
that's the journey that we're here to equip you. Come get your equipment. Be in a space
Come get it.
where what's in you comes up and we steward it together. We hold each other accountable to our real selves, to what you really are called to do, Debbie, what I'm really called to do, that we
Yes.
can be a mirror to one another, that we stay on target. And you tell me, hey, Rachel, that little thing you keep doing, that's sabotaging your success. Like, let's sure that up. Okay. Um,
Mhm.
and then I'm like, thank you. Okay. And it's like,
And
wow, you've done so much better this week on that. And you're more grounded in what you're doing, like that's the work of fellowship. And it's really the work of alignment. When you're in alignment,
mm,
you're allowing feedback into your life. Yeah.
yes. And you allow yourself to see the pattern and actually do something about it. In this
Mhm.
journey of entrepreneurship within Firestarters, being a Firestarter is about sitting around the flame of fellowship. It's
Mhm.
it's about seeing each other's identity and surrendering to the flame, actually letting the distribution as a service to people become the very thing that's going to cut you to you as well. So you see your breakthrough and compassion moving other people to move since you've broken out of it. And then you
Mm.
go share it with the world and you see patterns again reflecting back at you that again you're supposed to shed. Whoa, once it's gone, I can now expose my light even brighter and stand firm in what I believe in. These products are going to get me to the country I need to be in. These products are going to get you globally where you are meant to be moving in. And
Mhm.
somebody else that needs to hear it from you, your story. So
Mhm.
really the truth of what these products are within your own testimony of when you decide to take that authority and use this equipment to come into alignment, you'll see the value of what it can offer for somebody else's life. And that's what we
Mm.
share. We share how big the solution is from our own action taking and responsibility
Mhm.
within within as a fire starter.
Mhm.
Mm.
Mhm. And the word fire starter in of itself is a mirror of network marketing. It's the realization of influence that when you join a business that's in the world of network marketing, it it immediately talks about effect. I affect you and you look out and see who you can affect. And then they look out to see who they can affect. And the web of that is the reality that we are starting a fire. And business is a movement. If there's no movement in business, like Charmaine said, it's just a hobby if nothing's actually moving. And that's that's the calling of a distributor. Like we're distributors of Enagic. And those that
Imagine.
distribute something, we're not functioning in the assignment if no distributing is happening. And that's something that was very clear to me when I was younger. Like when I was in high school, I saw network marketing and I was like, this is momentum. This is movement. This is change. When you sit in a room full of like 1,000 people, they're from all different places. And it's like, wow, this is like this person's network and that person's network and that person's network. And they met all these different people. And now they're all together in a room learning and growing in skill sets and beginning to own the fact that they can make a difference in other people's lives. Like I saw that like in you're in Sri Lanka. I was about to say things that you have no
This
idea
is
what
the
I'm talking about.
first.
But
Yeah.
I was gonna say like in Lake Charles, Louisiana, like when I went to school in that area and I saw people in business and how they got out of the 9 to 5. They got out of things that they weren't passionate about and they got to really make a difference in other people's lives. And I think a lot of people have gotten jaded from negative MLM experiences, but the beauty and its authenticity, I couldn't unsee. And it changed what I wanted to do with my life. And the calling of that has been a journey of surrender because Holy Spirit has been calling me to live right where I am right now in this moment where we just said, you know what? I knew I was going live after our Zoom, and I was like, wait, do you feel to come on the live too? And it was just like, here we are. And we're like, what's the title? What are we talking about? And
Mhm.
that's the place of business. That's the place of leadership. And I thought for so long that being successful in business was work. It was like, don't mess up. You got to do it good. You got to feel like as though, and I would even talk about, let's talk about communication. That was my limiting belief about communication my whole life, is that communication was hard. And I was never meeting the standard of my own communication of what I thought I should have done. So it was always, I was not measuring up. I didn't do it good enough. So I'm gonna do better next time. And I took it on as like, I will do better. Like it wasn't like, oh, I'm not good enough, so I'm gonna quit. It was just like, no, I will do better. And it was like the heavy hand of perfectionism and criticism
Mm.
and shame. And the actual calling of communication is to connect with people heart to heart. And in order to connect heart to heart, you need to sit in your heart and let her speak. And if you're giving her permission to
Mm.
speak, it ain't hard, it's life giving. Yeah.
And we're literally in this environment right now where we're able to sit and speak from our hearts. What's been given, if not seen with the eyes of the Spirit in alignment, is what's not stewarded properly. So, when done in authenticity, the skill sets you need to learn, the people that you're connecting with, just like Rachel and me, as we moved in alignment, things started to unfold of what skills are needed to steward our vision properly, to steward these products properly.
Mhm.
And it just started to unfold. So it's in the identity that you genuinely get the experience of what the divine gave you in your assignment to bring value into other people, because you see the value in them, and you can't go a single day without like yapping about it anymore to them, being the solution. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And the communication itself is like, it doesn't there's no hesitation, because I'm not hiding my gold anymore from you. I want to share it. The gold
Yeah.
that was so valuable that I gave up almost all of my possessions for, which is freedom. Freedom is the goal.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
gold. Yeah.
I love that. The realization I couldn't unsee is that this is I was about to rhyme. It's like, as I hear a line, I gotta laugh at myself. That's the path for me. No. But this is
Wrap away.
oh, yeah, I cracked myself up.
Those
But,
bars.
yeah, I was seeing that once I saw it for myself, it bumped into all my soul patterns, all the lies I believed. But I was like, "No, that's the birthing of me on the journey of network marketing." I don't know what company, what vehicle, but I don't wanna root somewhere that Imma have to uproot everything I've built. So, I tiptoed in a lot of different places for, like, 10 years, and that's why I can sit so confidently in going into a lot of debt. Like, that investment is what I mean. The debt of investment. Like, people who see something worth it, they start a McDonald's, they start it with, like, $100,000. I started my business with $18,000 to position myself for the level of success and growth I knew I was called to. So I went in at, like, the highest package, pretty much. You went in, like, I think a higher package than me, but,
A higher
um
package, a $28,000 package.
yeah,
$28,000.
you beat me. So but the I was piggybacking off of the vision you were sharing about the solution it is for other people. So I saw the solution for me because I knew my calling was to be a solution for others. So I was like, I needed a vehicle to facilitate a calling like that, right? And the realization that a lot of people are searching around, trying different things to see if it's going to fulfill them. It's like, I'm gonna go do this job. I'm gonna take on this like false humility too, and maybe think like maybe I need to go low. And like we try that for a while. We go try to just be somewhere, someone in some little place in somebody's little world. And the calling still is on you. If the calling is about the moving of the spirit, the being in motion to others, where your energy, where your life, where your services, where your products are available, where you're connected, where your heart is open, your heart feels other people. Like there's this, you go through lessons that teach all of these things in different parts of your life. You're gonna realize, like, especially in entrepreneurship, if you didn't learn it anywhere, you get on this path, you're gonna bump into yourself. That's what's gonna happen. You're gonna bump into your patterns, you're gonna bump into my walls, my insecurities, my fears, where I feel safe, I don't, all
Yeah.
this stuff, like things I think I've got to do to even be worthy for my own calling. Like all this stuff is going to come up. And in seeing all of that stuff, though, in being on that path, you begin to get this like reassurance, especially in community. Like, to be able to sort through the lie, like, okay, that's the old thing, let it break off, you feel it break off, and it's like, "Ah, this is what I'm here to do." And that's what I've been experiencing even as we meet, it's like we're getting deeper and deeper revelation coming out, that it's like And the effect of it is rest in the calling, rest in our authority, rest in the assignment, getting more perspective on how I compared it to false humility, right? The idea of like, I'm going to go low. And God's like, no, you're a king.
Mhm.
You have a territory, you have an
Mhm.
assignment. In your kingdom, I need you to supply the needs of your kingdom. I need you to make sure that this is covered. I need you to have this effect. You have these gifts in you as a king. You are a king. And these are the different gifts I put in you. Let's get those gifts moving so that the people in your
Yeah.
territory can benefit from the fact that you are gifted in that way. And I feel like that's something we're learning as visionaries. Like God is teaching us how to vision cast together and to be able to capture what God is saying and to do something with that. And I'm learning to trust. I get a vision of like us going live. It's like that's an instruction. Go do it, you know, and like and then trusting whatever the Holy Spirit's gonna do in the moment. It's like, okay, what else are you gonna show us? So it's that obedience on the path that is showing us more and more what we're assigned to do, what kind of king we are, what effect are we having in our business. And that was something that we were looking at that was a big clarity for us. It's like I got the realization of the common mission. Yes, I'm not you and you're not me. We
Mm.
have big things, but the common mission of what we do and to articulate that and to walk in that. And that's something um, that is coming, that's
Yeah.
deepening in going live and taking the time to listen. If there's anything that I don't know, I need to slow down. That's something I'm learning. Like I'll bring up like an objective personality being a sleep last person is like I can just be like going and never stop to reflect, to process and like slow down and learn. It's like realizing that that's something that's a part of the journey. It's like I need to incorporate taking in what God wants me to see because I'm a go-getter, I'm committed, and I'm like, I'm gonna hit my numbers. And I'm hitting my numbers from a consciousness way down here.
Mhm.
And God's like, okay, I want you to have fellowship, I
Mhm.
want you to create space so you can come into a higher reality of what you're called to do, so that in all that you do, it's more potent. It has the effect that you're assigned to have. So yeah.
Yeah. Like one of those areas for me too was like coming on my, on live and even just like posting. Um, for a lot of my posts, the level of consciousness that I operated in was not to present to you guys the problems that I was seeing and the solutions and talking about it. And then I realized, like Charmaine was saying to us, your business becomes a hobby if you're not showing up like the right, if you're not talking about the solutions and you're not talking about the that and that was hiding the value that I had. Just because I was questioning my own value. So I projected it onto the vehicle that I had. So sitting in
Mhm.
the authority is acknowledging your value, letting letting that power begin to actually honor the and steward what you have to like present it at the level of consciousness like that is at it's from above like here
Mhm.
so that
Mhm.
the perspective even changes for somebody to see what it is. If I'm showing it from a lower consciousness, I'm not really, I'm masking it for what it is and undervaluing it. And in doing
Yeah.
that, I do you a disservice.
Yes.
And when I realized this, it humbled me and like in the real way of what I have is great because
Mhm.
I've been entrusted with my identity to carry this forward. My identity is big to carry this forward, and distribution is power. That is what
Mhm.
network marketing is that the model itself, the core of it is distribution. It's sharing abundance. It's
Mhm.
receiving from a kingdom that already has authority and is developing authority and developing others in their leadership into their awakening of kingdoms.
Mhm. Mhm.
The power
That's
of
it.
network marketing.
Awakening of kingdoms. Yeah. The
So
kingdom
we're
of each.
bringing the real network, the kingdom of, so this is what Firestarters do. They share a
Mhm.
commonality of bringing the realities of kingdom so that people can take up their territories within in their divinity. That's the
Mhm.
wildfire of it. Network marketing is meant to be a wildfire. And it starts
Mhm.
people off at a grace. I never
Mhm.
took business courses. I don't know what the jargon means. But
Mhm.
God, in my identity and calling, had it in my blueprint to spread a fire through business and communication.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
And this was the
That
vehicle for it.
mhm.
Yeah, you go.
That I just wanted to add, that's a core thing that I wanna stay on the simplicity of, is I believe the fire of business is in people's identity and their communication. Like, I love that you said those 2, because that is the simplicity of what's already inside of you. It's not something outside of you. When people tap into their own identity and they take ownership of the assignment and they use their mouth and they're willing to get feedback about what comes out of their mouth, meaning to grow in the skill set of communication, of being able to take what you see and to get other people to see what you see. So if someone has a problem, you know what you have to be the solution for it. You now have to convey that message. That's the gifting and that's the art that we work on, that we unlock in each other. When you fellowship with people who are walking in actively growing in an area, you're gonna grow. And that's the that's what Firestarters is about. It's not complicating it. It is to deepen people in a greater consciousness of what they already carry and say, when are you going to start sharing that with the world? How long are you going to hold that back? That's the power of your business. Your success is connected to your willingness to take what's already in you and let it out. That's distribution, like you're saying. We're distributors of that value. So, yeah. And I love how you said that. You're like, I'm not business trained. I'm just willing. I'm willing to walk it out and learn and share what I see and learn how to do that better. Yeah.
Yeah. In distribution is where I feel so welcomed home. And I ran away from the very place that was calling me into belonging and sharing the belonging to you guys and extending it out and say, hey, welcome to Firestarters. Get your business pack or your product
Yeah.
pack, and
Yeah.
we'll plug you in with the
Yeah.
purchase right away.
Yes.
So, welcome
Yeah.
home.
Welcome home. Welcome home. What you carry is waiting on you to invest into it. And there's a path, no matter where you are, if you feel like you have limitation, you don't have any money, that was me. I had enough money to pay my bills and that was it. And but I knew this was the vehicle of my chains breaking off of me. Literally. I knew this was the vehicle that would make me face the illusions I lived in. And I'd have to look at them again the next day. I have to look at them the next day. And I had to resist every How to word that? Every opportunity to be flattered instead of refined. I'll say that. That what's in me can come out. Because flattery validates what is out right now. And that's not the effect I want to have in Firestarters.
And it's painful. It's
Yeah.
painful to keep it. Like the
It's
same way it was
yeah,
painful for me to keep jealousy, comparison, doubt.
right. I see what you
It was
mean.
painful
Yeah.
to live with it. Mhm.
It became more painful to carry stuff that was holding you back when you realize there's more freedom for you. This is not who you are. This is what you got used to. But
So you're releasing the depth of pain. But yeah.
yes, yes. It's letting go of the thought that doing your calling requires something other than the real you. And then you're letting the real you get exposed and learning to love her, learning to let her speak. That's been my journey. It's a standard of choice. Like I've made a choice, and I'm not saying this is a choice a long time ago. Like I choose this. I've chosen it more today than I did yesterday, but I've chosen what I build will be on this foundation. If it builds slower because I built it real, I want to prove to myself
Mm.
that I want to build a culture. I want to build a culture. I want to build a home, a safe place for the real you to be the reason you're successful. Then you don't have to worry about your
Wow.
world crumbling down because something shifted. It's like there's no firmer foundation than that. I don't yeah. Like I'll mention this.
Mm.
Um something that I've observed like in ministries that like you can be under a corporate anointing. So you can heal, you can do all this stuff because you're in that community. And then you get away from that community and you can't do any of those things. So that's a corporate anointing. It wasn't your anointing. You were kind of floating under it. So it's much better to strip that and get to see the lack of you flowing in that yourself so you can see why is that because the same spirit's in you. So what's got it clogged up? Why can't it flow? Why is there no power? The revelation of a business has an identity, it has a purpose. And if I don't listen for what my business's purpose is, and if I don't facilitate and be a guardian of it too, like we were talking about the four faces of God, and the lion face is the biggest like thing that's being talked to me about like constantly right now. That we have to determine what our flag is in our territory, like the coat of arms. What are we about here? You know? And that's the thing when you have an assignment, you have to steward the purpose of your business. You have to listen for what what you're meant to be, what's inside of you, what you're facilitating. And um I was connecting that to the anointing story that whenever you realize that everything is stripped away and you get to see what your flag really says. You're like, oh, I got doubt on mine. I've got, um, I need your approval written on mine. I've got
Mm.
all these things that when I'm not under someone else's grace, I'm just under my own. I see like, oh, I can't get any sales because I feel like I need this from you, and I feel like I don't have any value, or I've got to be perfect, and all this stuff starts getting exposed when you're not under someone else's anointing because that's all actually manifesting through your business because it's you, you know. And this is the journey I was on over the last like 6 months, like when God showed me to birth Firestarters more intentionally. And it was very much that like, okay, I have to look into what the vision is. I have to look into what I'm supposed to be stewarding and and to communicate that. So I took the ownership of communicating what I've been given and to not judge the beginning of that, the beginning stages of a vision, and me not comparing myself to like, oh, somebody else has done 400 presentations, this is my first presentation. Like to be able to step into the journey of visibility of like, this is my first embodiment of this vision called Firestarters. And then more recently, while I was in Cameroon, I did another presentation. I'm seeing like, okay, it's this thing of when you step into the embodiment of what God has called you to steward, you continually present, you continually come on, like the challenge of like go live more often. It revealed in me like, am I present in my business? You know, will I embody what I say I'm about? And so that's the beauty of the journey of realizing that I made a video earlier today about something, I forgot the title, but it's kind of like you steward the vision you're to steward is the one that God gave you. Like that's the one that you must steward. And that's the beginning of birthing Firestarters is me taking what I can see and communicating it. And then once you communicate something, you realize, okay, I get more revelation on the journey of what it is. I'm like, oh, this is what it's about. So then I communicate that, right? And we share what we can see every day. And in that obedience, if we're on the path of actually stewarding the real assignment that God has given you, you're going to grow in revelation. That's how it is. When you're obedient, God's going to reward you with what you need to see next so you can obey the next instruction. And so yeah, I've been kind of circling all over the place, but I ultimately it's well worth getting on the journey where you can see yourself, where you no longer brush off that God is speaking to you. When you start to realize, okay, partnering with God isn't just God's going to do this for me one day. It's okay,
Mm-hmm.
God, this is my
Mm-hmm.
assignment.
Mm-hmm.
What action am I going to take to walk in my assignment today?
Yes.
Yeah.
Your assignment and will connect you to the very people that are meant to collaborate within your assignment as well. Rachel said yes to joining Enagic, starting Firestarters. Her
Mhm.
obedience unlocked my own like vision and path into what I was supposed to say yes to. So
Mhm.
your
Yes.
own obedience is going to create a massive ripple effect within the
Mhm.
network of people that are yet to meet you. You got to get your
Yes.
equipment.
You've
That's
gotta
what you
get
got to
your
show.
yes. Yeah.
Show it
I
off.
love the fact that had I not gotten in the vehicle, drove the vehicle, advertised the vehicle, I wouldn't meet my divine appointments, my divine alignments. And I'll go back to talking about Typology Corner because that was the start. That's how we met. That's part of an aspect of a business, right? It's another business that I have. I have two businesses. So me taking that vision, birthing it, stewarding it, hosting it, it being advertised, that led to Isaiah booking a session, Isaiah telling you about it, you booking a session. And then that's how
Mhm.
I've met my best friends, and we haven't met in person, and that's the reality of networking and marketing. You market yourself, and God connects you with the people that you're meant to be aligned with. And there's no lack, there's no scarcity in people when you've said yes to the calling on your life, to what you're assigned to do. The clients will show up.
Yeah, and Isaiah,
Mhm.
like with me, Isaiah was the one who asked me, Devni, you know, when he was presenting me Enagic. I thought, well, I saw it as a vehicle, but at first I didn't see it for me. But he had to ask me, Devni, do you really want to live the way you're living right now? If you kept living like this, let's say the internet like broke off, then what
Mm,
would you do? Like forever, what would you do? And immediately I was like, I'd join Enagic. I'd have the vehicle. I would be using it to get the money to
mhm,
come to you. I would
mhm,
change my routines. Because in those days, I barely, I was barely having a routine of anything. Um,
mhm,
it moved me from seeing myself in in the comfort of complacency into like actually moving myself out and being like, hey, I don't want this right now. I want the life that God has already planned for me, but God is not going to God is not going to take me there outside of my will. And I have to be the one who aligns with that plan. It's there waiting for me. The buffet is there. It's just, am I
mhm,
going to take part in it? And
mhm,
that question itself was really revealing as to
mhm,
my own choices. It
mhm,
revealed how from my spirit self was like, no, I once the comfort is like taken away, the thing that distracts you, you can see and be like, this is not the environment I want to live in. This is not the condition of health I want to stay in forever.
mhm,
This is
mhm,
this is not the level of fulfillment I feel in myself because I didn't say yes to a real calling. So,
mm,
what is that
mhm.
for you? Oh,
What? You froze. Yeah. Yeah, what is burning on the inside of you? What has to get out? What way do you want to live? That's your responsibility to live that out, to get on the path of that, to change that. Like my story, when I saw this company, is I knew God called us to move to Kenya like 2 years before. And I knew being an Uber driver was not going to get me there. I was fully connected to America and I was called to leave America. And that that called for an identity shift in me. I had to I had to face Devney will be back. I guess maybe her phone died. But yeah, I had to face my patterns, my darting away from my own calling, the fact that I would see so much in people. I'll talk about that. Like when you talk about the gifts that we have and whether we exercise and flow in those gifts, or if I contain them to like rigidity of like, oh, this is just what I'm doing. I'm just driving this car. I'm just paying my bills. And, I don't know where any of this is going. That's one of the biggest things God has been like challenging me on is the fact that I will live contained and I don't know where this is going. So um, I'm not going to chance where this could go. It's like this living in paranoia instead of living in the present. And that's the reality of our giftings is that they're supposed to flow. They're supposed to be aware, be taking in other people, being aware of like the things that's happening in their heart and being a part of the catalyst, being part of the activation. And that's the calling as an entrepreneur is to be that, is to let yourself observe the things that you notice in the presence and do something about it, the responsibility of that. And the thing that was very apparent to me all the time was like all these people are highlighted to me. People feel drawn to me. I feel like I feel them. I know what they're called to do. And I can see that. And I can feel myself containing my impact instead of trusting myself to flow. Trusting the spirit really is surrendering to the calling. And that's kind of the false humility of like, I'm going to try to keep my life small, but the assignment is big. That's really the thing that I was looking at. The assignment is big and I need a shift. I got to move. I got to get out of the way I've been living to live in the fullness of that. And that is what God is quickening us into, is we have to come up higher. And if you feel drawn to business, there's a reason, because business is the realm of influence. We think, oh, church is. It's like, no, business is the marketplace. That's where all the people are, not some place that we go tuck ourselves in on Sunday. The marketplace is meeting the real needs of people and becoming a real solution to the people. So that's my encouragement today, is if you feel the stirring, step into it, get the equipment of business so that you can exercise the giftings of business. Because if you don't start working out the skill sets, if you delay, if you put it off, if you put it way like, oh, I'll do it some other time. It's like, if you're supposed to be on this path, you're delaying your growth, you're delaying the provision of God in your life. To be able to walk in certain aspects of your calling, you need to be free. And that's what I needed. I needed time freedom. I needed location freedom to get to Kenya. And I needed to change vehicles. I had to literally get out of my Uber car and get in a Enagic. That was the transition for me. I had to get in a new vehicle that could take me to where I needed to go. And within my first 2 months, I made over $10,000. Well, like at $10,000 to be accurate. It was like, yeah, like right on the money. I made $10,000 and that liberated me. And my husband got blessed with a lump sum as well from crashing. I mean, he didn't crash his car, but he got in a little bitty wreck that caused like its value, that it was totaled out. So like God literally halted both of our vehicles. We were both doing Uber, and God was like, Uber done, get in a Enagic. My husband was already in the online space, and God released us last summer to be fully online. We've never gone back. I never drove Uber again. And for the next 6 months from joining, God was preparing and ushering us out of America fully. Now I live in Kenya. And now the calling of being in Kenya is the global business, the global impact. And now for me to own my position, my territory, my assignment of activating you. That's the calling on my life, is to activate you in what God has called your influence to be and what you're meant to do in the world. And there's no greater vehicle than entrepreneurship. When you take ownership of that, you will realize that everything, be it if you're a pastor, if you're an evangelist, an apostle, a prophet, a teacher, whatever you do, you have to be able to distribute your message, your ideas. You need to be able to market what you do, bring it to market. You need to be able to network with the people that you're assigned to reach. So literally, you do yourself a disservice by thinking, oh, I'm not an entrepreneur, they're an entrepreneur. No, entrepreneur is simply saying, I notice I have a territory. I notice I have an assignment. I notice that I have giftings, and it's for them. That is the basis of entrepreneurship, is I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to share the solution to the problem. I've got my eye on those that have the problem that my product, my service, my vehicle solves. And I'm going to be present in that. I'm going to learn how to do that better each and every day. And Devney is back. Here we go. There we go.
My phone died.
Yeah. And Matthew asked a question. I just looked at the chat. Can I ask why Kenya? Yeah. That was purely God. So I got married in 22. April of 22. And by the summer, I did my first 7-day fast. And through honestly being hungry and starting to like watch food videos on YouTube, I started watching travel videos of people in India, people eating street food here. And it just opened up this world for me while I was fasting. And I came across content creators in Africa, and like my spirit just lit up. I was just the more I watched content, the more it broke off the lies America told about Africa, number one. It started to just break all this stuff off, and just it became so apparent to me that this is where I'm supposed to be. The movement of what was happening out here, there was people with the passion to actually break the narrative, the lie that's been projected on the whole continent of Africa. They say Africa is 54 countries. Like, it's the greatest, biggest continent in all of the world, and they don't even draw it right on the maps. They draw it all small. And just to say that, like, I watch content creators traveling all over and just like, oh my God, they lied to us. Like, I'm just sitting there like fasting and watching these videos, and it just went into like 2 months of binging and just getting that deeping, that revelation of like, I am to be a part of this. This is me. I'm supposed to be over here. And it got so strong that like I knew Africa, and then I started seeing like Tanzania and like let's see, East Africa. First I thought Ghana. Everybody thinks Ghana initially, like it's really popular in a way. And so I kind of locked on Ghana for a little while, just because so many content creators really like marketed Ghana. But over time I saw Tanzania. And then I got more clarity. I was like, no, it's Kenya. I heard Kenya. And I started talking to my husband about it. And he's like, okay, like he didn't hear it yet. And he heard it maybe 6 months later. I don't remember, something like that. And he got a very clear word from God of that we're to move to Kenya. And this is like the turn of 22. By like the end of 2022, we both knew at that point, and Nelson even heard so specifically at that time that we would move in 2026, because I felt it so strong. Literally for 6 months, I was just like binging everything I could find about Africa, Kenya, everywhere. Like, I was just watching everybody's stories. Every person, they were just feeling divinely led to move there. Another person, they're like, the Most High led me here. And I just felt, and I came here once and then I moved. I just knew this is where I was supposed to be. And they were just like literally consumed thousands of stories. And I felt at that point, I was like, I literally was like miserable, because like I already felt it. I already like bursted. I already knew that's where I was supposed to be. And then Nelson heard 2026. It's like, okay,
Wow.
all right. And I settled down like, okay, we got years left in America. Okay. And then I was like, but there's a reason. So it was that knowing at that point of like, okay, I'm not ready yet. God is preparing me for that assignment. And I needed every bit of it. I literally, even in the journey of Enagic, like I came across Enagic 9 months before I actually joined. And I bursted. Like birthing is like such a reoccurring revelation, but I conceived it, I'll call it. Yeah, I conceived it. I knew it was real. I knew like this is what God told me. And it literally, I gave birth. Like, I joined the business 9 months later. And but in that similar way that I'd hear so vividly clearly that I'm like, oh my God, how can I actually live here when I already feel like I'm supposed to be over there? And I've been learning, God's been teaching me the process of, if you give birth to something you just conceived, it's gonna die, So yeah. So that's I guess a lesson in of itself. But yeah, so that's why Kenya. God showed us Kenya. And man, there's no place like it. I gotta say, if you feel drawn to Kenya, come and visit. Seriously.
Yeah, get your vehicle.
You got to get in the vehicle so you can get there. That's the reality. I was telling this while you were gone, how I literally had to get out of my Uber car, get into Enagic, because I knew I had to get to Kenya. I was like, God, where's the business? Because I can't be trapped in Houston, Texas, Beaumont, Texas, and I'm over here like trying to pay my bills. It's like I had to make a shift. I had to get out of the identity. I had to get out of the hiding. I had to get out of literally I got so convicted sometimes in my Uber rides that it's like I can tell I am like containing the spirit. It's like the spirit wants me to level up. Like it's time to move on to, like, I got out of this season what I needed. And if I don't move, like, you can abort your baby too if you don't move. Like, if you don't give birth when you're
Mm.
supposed to give birth, you can kill the baby too. So it it's the reality that your calling is going to haunt you.
Yes.
That's yeah. And there is no fulfillment outside of it. Like, I'll tell you the honest truth. It's just like this. When the spirit's on you, you need to do what the spirit's saying. The spirit said for us to be on this live right now. And I could be like, oh, but it's 1 in the
Mm.
morning in Kenya. Like, I need to go to bed. I plan to
It's
go to
like
the gym in the morning.
3:36.
It's 3:36 for you.
3:36 in Sri Lanka. I mean, you can't
Yeah.
even tell from the both of us just like talking like we're in broad daylight.
I only got like 5 hours of sleep at best last night. Like, yeah. Yeah. That's the life, man. If I give you any ad of get in your calling, take your territory, get in your assignment, get your equipment, get going, get in business, get the loan, get whatever you need. Because of this is life. This is living. I get to do this for a living. I'm talking to my best friend here. We were sitting here working out our business, working out our salvation, like working out our purpose. That's the reality of what God wants to do when you obey. When you get on the path of what you're created to do, God will put the people in your path that is on that same wavelength, that has that desire, that sees the same vision, that feels the heart of God for the vision, for the people. The
Mm.
vision is for people. A business is connected to a need. And God puts people in place who has the compassion for the people. So this is what you cut off
So don't
when you don't trust God, when you don't take that step across the line and invest in yourself.
don't rule out business because business is serving a need. And what have we, what have we all learned about our calling? It's meant to serve others. So
Yes.
business serves a
Yeah.
need, and to serve a need, you need to be yourself. Because in yourself, you don't need anything or anyone because you're grounded in your identity
Mhm.
and you're able to let go of the things that you thought you needed and then just be with the family who always wanted you and be cognizant of that. And this is an introduction of family, really. This is what network marketing is.
This is
That's why the welcome home.
We
Yeah.
heard welcome home as we started this live. We're like, what's the title? I'm hearing welcome home. It's like that's not too marketable, but like yeah, that's what we heard is welcome home. But yeah, I'll speak to the vision. I want to speak to the visionaries because I'll talk to the visionary I was when I was 17. I wrote 14 pages about this community that's being birthed. I didn't know the name of it. I didn't know what company. I didn't know I'd live in Kenya, but I saw online communities of family that are growing together, that things are being broken off of us by action and participation. And I love that. I love network marketing has the gate of, will you invest in yourself? Will you do what it takes to get the license and put yourself in this space? Firestarters is fully available to anyone who will invest in themselves. That means you need to believe in you before being here. That's what we're calling you into
Yeah,
is
trust
belief.
your real voice.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Trust your real voice. Yeah.
Yeah, the stirring, that stirring and
Hmm.
that opening of space inside of you to actually see something that's easy, that's very high alignment with you, even for this second of space, these few minutes, tap into
Hmm.
that. That is that is the voice that brings out your vision. You know, Rachel is speaking to the visionaries in you. And as she
Hmm.
was speaking, I just felt that people's inner child or inner children are beginning to start connecting the dots of, I had this vision, and
Hmm.
how can I get there? How did I forget about it? And
Hmm.
now the presenting of what the business is and what the products can be for you is reactivating it.
Hmm.
And yeah, like whatever comes up today, write it write it down, hold on to that. The patterns may say, oh, you got to shrink back. Like a lot of triggers may come up, but at the end of the day, there's there's that one thing that opened up for you that you know is the taste of freedom. Hold on to that, write that vision down, and
Hmm.
yeah, get in alignment with your equipment. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I'll add, if you know Devney, if you've been following her, reach out to her. She has such a heart to hear what's in you, and the way she is as a friend to me, if there's anything I set before her, she's just going to expand it and make you reflect and make you look at it and be like, okay, where you want to go with that? Okay, this is, like it matters that you take your vision outside of you and set it before somebody who can steward it with you. So if you're connected with her, go have a conversation. That's what we're about. If you want to jump on a call, call either one of us. Like this is what we're here to do, is to make sure that what's in you gets out. So that's what I
Wow.
want to urge you to do, is take that step. If you're stirred, do something by faith to anchor the fact that you saw it. Clarity is fleeting if you don't steward it. Wisdom is a relationship. Either you honor wisdom or you just like apathetic about it. Oh, that's a cool thought, and you just go about your life. So
There
that's
was a
what it
proverb
takes.
about it. um,
Yeah.
you know,
You said there's a proverb
wisdom
about
really
it?
does yell in the street. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
wisdom does really
It's
yell out
true.
in the street. Who's listening to me? Who's listening to me?
Yeah.
Thanks, King Solomon.
Yes. So, honor the
So
voice of
it's
wisdom.
like the solution is right in front of your face. Yeah. And Rachel does like the amazing way of refining the vision back to the first step that you need, like backtracking you, where you need to look at it strategically and be like, okay, what's the next step to get where I want to be? What's the practical step? What goals do I need to do? What are the goals that I didn't do? What do I need to accomplish in order to get there? And she's been phenomenal at helping me backtrack my vision. Because
Mm.
sometimes I can go on rabbit holes, and yeah, she's a remarkable stewarder of vision.
Mm.
So
Thank you
thank you,
so
Rachel.
much.
Like she will really help you ground you in it.
Mm. Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's my heart. Thank you so
yeah.
much. Yeah, that's that's what I'm here to do. That's literally why God put us in business, and I'm done holding my gifts back, and they're for you, man. So let's talk. So message me, message Devney, and we've got a full
Yes.
overview that's going to show you all about Enagic, all about the vehicle, and what your dream is, what you have in your heart. You're going to see when you watch the presentation, you're going to see you can absolutely get there here. You can grow in this environment, and your voice has a purpose. And that's what Firestarters is. Your voice needs to get out in the world. So yeah, it's your time.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, well, guys, that is it. Thank you for spending this time with us. And thank you so much, Devney, for your spontaneity and being up for anything. And this has been
Thank
incredible.
you.
And we'll see y'all next time, guys. See y'all later.
Love you.